Hey collective, so we have a clear message here, and that message is it's time to start treating yourself. It's time to start embracing the freedom, regardless of what caused it. It's time to start making new connections, taking a new direction, get some balance in your life, start to uplift yourself, start to give yourself the love and attention that you've been given to other people and things that didn't deserve it. Okay, so let's do a collective reading. Don't force it to fit. You can email me to book a personal. But I think this is a good message, because I think a lot of times we get stuck, right? Especially on a healing journey, or when we're trying to figure out what's next in life. And so we kind of sit and wait for a clear direction. And I feel like Spirit's saying, create one. Create one. Some of you had to walk away from something. Some of you, this was a relationship breakup, and maybe you're even at the point now where you're wondering if you should have walked away. Like, how do you start this new direction? And what Spirit is saying is go with the flow. And it even says here, it's like the path will illuminate when you completely commit to creating your life over, to creating a life that you want with your opinions and your choices and your decisions. And for some of you, this has to do with a breakup. And sometimes you can get to the point where you're like, well, maybe I should have just stayed. It was better than sitting here alone, not knowing what to do. And this message is Spirit saying, no, that's not true. That's not true. Look, I can't make it up. This is not taking that leap of faith and choosing you and just keeping it moving even when you don't feel like it. And keeping it moving doesn't mean you have to, get out of bed and just be, jumping for joy, but at least get out of bed. At least do some work on yourself. Maybe read a book about healing. I feel like the Spirit's saying, take this leap of faith and start choosing you and start treating yourself the way you treated other people. This is how you get that ball rolling, because a healing journey can be up and down, and sometimes it feels like it went stagnant. And I feel like Spirit wants you to know that just wait, just take the leap of faith. It's scary, right? Do it afraid. Because really what you're being asked to do is kind of close your eyes and leap. And say, okay, I'm going to go in this direction. That's where my intuition's telling me to go. It's painful. I really don't want to leave this behind, but I know I have to. And I'm going to just start heading that way. And I'm not sure what's ahead of me. And I'm not sure, what the blessings are going to look like, what the path is going to look like, where I'm going to end up. And you go anyway. That's the faith part, right? The tower. This tower, this dismantling of your life, the way it was, happened for a reason. Spirit's not just going to rip everything out from under you that wasn't serving your highest good if they didn't have something better. And I feel like if you free yourself from the mental prison part of this, and that's the overthinking, that's the sitting back and going, did I make a mistake? Where do I go next? I have no idea what to do. And take that leap of faith. You can just start by just speaking kindly to yourself in the morning. You can start by acknowledging, yeah, this tower moment sucked, but it's not going to beat you. It's not going to be the end of everything that, you have potentially down the line. This is like a beginning. It feels like the end. And it feels like you're never going to feel better. And it feels like you're never going to get better or get more. And then that's when you start thinking, well, should I call them? Or should I go back into that situation that maybe it wasn't as bad as I made it out to be? You start justifying and you start ruminating, and this is where Spirit's saying, get a hold of those thoughts. If you're in a trauma bond, use resources online and books available to you to start learning how to break that trauma bond. Stay no contact and start treating yourself and start looking for the solutions that fit you and not that just take you back to a place that you prayed your way out of. That's not the answer. This tower moment, I can see this happen for a reason. And I feel like some of you haven't even sat down and tried to even come up with a strategy of what you want to do. And so this is Spirit saying, create a strategy. Say, and it can be big and it can be glamorous. I want to own my own business. I want to go buy my own house. I want to move to wherever. All of it possible. We have to start somewhere. And I feel like Spirit's saying, look, it's a hot air balloon. Like, the craziest of ways that you could possibly get your life together are possible. This is your freedom, and this is Spirit saying take advantage of it. Like, it even says defy gravity on here. Like, the impossible is possible if you take the leap of faith. if you turn this around and you set your sights, create a vision board, set your sights on whatever it is you want, come up with a strategy. Some of you, I feel like you're just stuck in this nightmare, and you may be apart from this person, but you're here alone, and that feels lonely, and you're with your thoughts, and the road that way, that leap of faith feels impossible, and it's not. And this is where Spirit is saying, treat yourself to kindness and the grace that you've given other people. Treat yourself to the forgiveness you've given other people. Treat yourself to the possibilities that what you are leaving behind is bullshit, and there's a million times better out there, because there is. And these tower moments, you know, yes, this card has a bad reputation because this is when shit blows up in your face, but they also dismantle things that are destroying you, and it gives you a chance to build from the ground up, and you can build it the way you want it to look. This feels like a nightmare, but it doesn't have to be a lifelong nightmare. You don't live here. This is a phase. This is but a phase where you learn to love yourself and you get yourself together. And these burdens that you carry, I'll bet you for most of you, out of those 10, 9 of those don't even belong to you. They're not even your burdens. You didn't create them. You didn't ask for them. You don't want them. But when you get to this position that I feel like a lot of you are in, if this reading is resonating, you get to the point where you're carrying them because you're trying to pick up pieces, and you get to the point where you don't even know which ones are yours and which ones aren't because of the brain fog. And so this is a clear message from Spirit that there are some of you out there that, yeah, if you've got to hire a hot air balloon to get out of there, whatever you need to do to get yourself moving forward on this journey, even baby steps, talk to yourself kindly. I just keep hearing the word grace. Give yourself grace. And for those of you, I don't know why I just got this, I feel guilty about leaving this person behind. Don't. Take 9 of those, the 9 logs that don't belong to you, and give them back. And move on with the one for yourself. And that's the healing journey. That's the shadow work you need to do. Look, I knew it. The way isn't clear. And if you take the leap of faith, it will become clear, and you'll know which path to take. It'll feel right. Your intuition will know that's where you're headed. Create your dream life on paper, in your mind. Replace all those thoughts that just drive you insane, right? Because they won't shut up. You can't even wash the dishes without your brain taking over, starting to ruminate about all the bullshit. If you replace those thoughts and you get your brain trained to break this trauma bond and start getting into the mode of excitement about what's possible, I mean, you have a clean slate here. It's like a blank canvas. What do you want it to look like? A lot of you are just beat up, left behind. And so it's going to be a lot of work, and it's a marathon, not a sprint. But don't live here. Don't live here as a casualty of someone else's war, of a casualty of someone else's dark cloud, someone else's toxicity. You don't have to. And some of you, you're just so drained. Some of you were so in love. This was supposed to be the one. I get it, and that's painful. And you're empty, and you're tired, and you're exhausted. And sometimes it's easier to just sit in the pain than it is to do whatever you have to do, even if it's hire a hot air balloon to get out of there, the roundabout, to start getting out into the community, getting outside, even if you just take a hike, a walk, and start treating yourself. Start giving yourself grace. That's what I'm getting from this reading. There's a light at the end of this tunnel, this healing journey. There really is. But it takes some work. Don't sit where you're at. You deserve the best. You do. Right when I say 10 of Pentacles. Look, that's what's out there for you. Stability. Lifelong stability. The money. The abundance. The self-respect. The good life. The house. The car. The trip. It's there. And it's waiting for you to come and get it. And by any means necessary, take that leap of faith. And get yourself out of this trauma bond so that you can enjoy the life you were meant to live here. We are put here to be joyful and to give love and to receive love, not to live in someone else's toxicity that they created, okay? You win here. You just have to take those extra steps. I hope this helps, and go have a beautiful life. You deserve it. You guys have a great day.